Hello and welcome to another episode of Guitar Rescue. Today we're going to try to rescue this little Breedlove acoustic guitar. In today's episode we're going to replace the tuning keys with these slightly upgraded solid gold Waverly tuners. No, that's a joke. They're just lookalikes of Waverly's. They're relatively inexpensive and hopefully they're going to fit right. So as we go through the project, I'll show you how it goes, and I'll show you what tools you need to do this, and so on. First, we're going to remove the strings, and I won't bore you with that. You know how to do that, so we'll be right back. Okay, so after you remove the strings, obviously you're going to take off the tuning keys from the old tuning keys from the guitar. I recommend that you take one off first, and you make sure that you've got the correct new set that's going to fit, that the holes are going to line up right, that the diameter of the shaft is the right diameter. So you do that first, and once you're convinced of that, then you can take all of the tuning keys off and just get them out of your way. The ones that I'm replacing come with new screws and everything, but I always save all these things because you never know when you need a part. And I needed one little screw for these old tuning keys, the screw that holds the gear on, and I could not find the right screw, or it was cross-threaded in there. But in any case, now I have plenty of those little screws if I need them. Okay, so you remove the tuning key. Now there's going to be an escutcheon inside the head. That piece. Okay? Those pieces right there. You're going to need a little bit of a punch to remove those guys. So you need the right size punch, and then you pop it out. And that one just flew somewhere. It came out. Here, right here, actually. Now, naturally, with the new keys, these are not exactly the same size. So the new escutcheon that I'm going to put in is gold. And it was too small for the hole. It would have been too loose in these holes. But what I did, and I'm going to show you, I wrapped it with copper tape, and I'll show you that as we get going. But it fits much tighter in there now. You don't want it to be super loose because then the sound doesn't transfer from the strings to the wood. Okay? So we'll be back in a minute with more information. Now that I've got all the tuning keys and escutcheons removed from the headstock, I took the opportunity to clean the headstock really, really good with one of my Magic automobile scratch doctor cleaners here that really does a good job of taking little scratches out. You don't get a chance to clean that often, even when you do strings, because you got the tuning keys in the way. So I just took a minute to just get that nice and clean before I put it back together. I'm also going to take the opportunity to clean the fretboard, polish the frets, and oil the fretboard. But that's not what this is all about. Okay, so we were talking about these little escutcheons in the headstock where the pin goes through. So this is one of the old ones here. This is a hair bigger than the new ones. So what I had to do was I used this copper tape. It's peel side that people use this for stained glass. And I wrapped the new escutcheons with the copper tape to shim it up to get them to fit pretty snug, because you don't want them loose. You want the strings to be able to transfer the sound through the headstock and vice versa. And this does have some electronics in it, so you would probably want to have the strings grounded somewhere. I know you do on an electric guitar, so hopefully as I go along I'll show you more stuff, but now we're installing the tuning keys on the back side. So we'll be right back. This is one of the new tuning keys here. And there are lefts and rights to these things. So this part is going to go up towards the top of the headstock, and this is going to go down towards the neck. And if you put them on wrong, you'll be 1 or 2 short. So put them on the right side. So this just slips in there after you put your escutcheons in, and you just screw it down. I'll talk about the tools that you need at the end of the video. Just basically, just a few hand tools that you'll need to do this. But you just screw them on like this, and then we'll keep going and put some strings on it and see how it sounds. So we're back. In conclusion, I just wanted to show you the tools that you might need to do this. It's pretty simple. You don't need a lot of tools. You need a small Phillips head screwdrivers that fit good in those little screws so you don't round them off. You'll need some kind of a punch. I have a regular flat punch that I use to punch out those little escutcheons, and you'll need some kind of little hammer to do that. Then I mentioned that you're going to need, well, what I needed, and for this particular one, was I shimmed the escutcheons with these copper tape. You remove the back side and you put it on the outside of the escutcheon. We wrapped it up. This is a little tricky, so my wife's a much better crafty person than me, so I had her help me with this. But you're going to wrap it around the outside of the escutcheon, and you might need more than one wrap to shim it up. Hopefully you can see that we're, whoa, where's that camera? There it is. You can see how that works, and you might need a couple of levels of that to fill the hole, make it nice and tight. Then when you're done, you get something as pretty as this. Gold, 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 gold. It's really beautiful. I'm still waiting. I put some new strings. I'm waiting for the strings to stretch out a little bit, but just a beautiful, nice sounding guitar. And now all you would need is a gold capo to go with your gold tuners. And I just happen to have one. So that should sound good. So I'm going to actually, and I'm going to also list the little tuners that I bought. They weren't expensive as the Waveleys or even the Wilkinsons. But they do the job, and they feel really good. Those other tuners that I replaced, besides having a screw missing in the gear, the gears just, there was too many dead spots in those gears. This is very true, these new tuners. And it's like having a new guitar to me. So we'll see you in the next episode of Guitar Rescue. I think I rescued this one.